Before I begin this lesson, I want to start off by giving all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Chakwadash. Double honor to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone that taught us this truth. A sincere shalom to the hopeful like this out there, listening, learning, and or teaching in truth and sincerity. Shalom. Hey, shalom, Akim. I woke up this morning, and I think this was the first thing I saw, man, and it was some vexation of heart. You know, this man Esau Edom is the fucking devil, man. And we can't say it enough on every fucking video we make, man. We have to keep repeating ourselves. Because a lot of you Israelites out there don't get it. All right? But those of you that are the elect are going to come out of that fucking hypnosis and you're going to see the truth for what it is, man. All right? Hey, this is fair use for educational purposes only. Right, I'm going to end up playing some of this video, so we got to give our disclaimer, because these devils will take down videos because they get butthurt about the truth. But anyway, you know, this brand called Vital Farms, a lot of you have seen it at the grocery store, man. For years, I have gotten this brand and certain other brands that say pasture raised, you know, and you would think that it's the same or at least the closest thing we can get to eating eggs that our ancestors ate. You know, eggs that were unadulterated by Esau. But guess what, man? Even these are fucked up. Okay? And, you know, we're going to go into this video real quick. It's kind of long, so I might have to skip through it. Or I might have you brothers just kind of watch it on your own. You know, I really recommend you brothers out there to watch this on your own. All right, and just take it for what it's worth, man, because, you know, these are the best, quote unquote, the best eggs you can get at the grocery store. But Esau's a fucking liar, and he made it seem like these eggs, you know, are the eggs you would get in nature, you know, which, you know, in the back of my head, I had an idea, you know, Esau's probably a damn liar. He's just doing the bare minimum to sell these eggs at a higher price, you know. But, you know, hey, that suspicion I had in the back of my head, it was right, you know? And ultimately, this man is the devil, man. Yeah, the chickens are technically pasture raised. They see sunlight. But guess what they eat? They eat the same shit the other chickens eat, man. So they're just a little bit healthier, man. But this guy's going to go into it. I'm going to go ahead and play the video.
Eggs are supposed to be the best eggs you can buy. They're marketed as pasture-raised hens, roaming freely on small family farms, fed the highest quality feed, and producing nutritionally superior eggs with deep orange yolks that justifies their premium price.
Yeah, that's the thing I liked about them. The yolks were deep yellow, and then the shells were very hard. So it seemed like, okay, this comes from a healthier chicken than the pale looking shit that cracks if you breathe on it. You know, the regular supermarket brand eggs, right? Now, I don't pay that much for them, but, you know, certain brothers, if you live in bigger cities, they're going to charge more for the eggs. Oh, Salakia. I muted it by accident. Let me go back.
Farms, fed the highest quality feed and producing nutritionally superior eggs with deep orange yolks that justifies their premium price. But recently they have found themselves at the center of a massive scandal. People everywhere are talking about it, and when you hear what was found, you'll understand why. When you dig into the story, what you find goes far beyond one bad lab test. It's a story about how a small farm with 20 chickens became a publicly traded company worth hundreds of millions of dollars. The product we've all been paying a premium for may have stopped being premium a long time ago. So, what actually happened?
Right, so basically what he's going to go into here is how the stock market, how they became like a publicly traded company, you know, just like any other shitty asshole corporation. Once it becomes like a big corporation or gets bought out by a corporation, like, you know, you can think about Chipotle. Chipotle had that original, I forget his name, the original guy that started it with the original mission. You know, all the ingredients were organic. You know, they had to chop them up in the store. Then when it was bought out, I forgot which corporation bought them out, but it doesn't matter. Y'all can look it up. Basically, the everything comes pre-cooked in a plastic bag, and I believe they even heat up the food. I'm not gonna say they do because I don't remember, but you know, they heat up the food, and it's all like pre-packaged and none of it, and it's not even organic anymore. the quantities are smaller, the prices are higher. You see, everything just goes to shit. Once these bigger corporations kind of start taking over shit, you know, and that's basically what he's gonna go into. But I want to skip forward, and I think, let's go around here. Lord's will. That's what I'm looking for.
Soy, things that it is not historically eaten and therefore isn't equipped to break down. What happens is it starts to build up this.
So this is what we're talking about, the food, right? The food, Salakia, the food that the chickens are eating. Yeah, we're gonna go here.
Vanguard about 6.36%. Wellington Management, Amazon, and all the other major institutional investment groups are in there.
Yeah,
the majority of Vital Farms ownership is now large investment groups. Now, these massive institutional firms all have massive stake in the agriculture industry. So Vital Farms, they had an issue. They had to ask themselves, at what point does profit start to become a priority over the original mission? And what the data is now showing is very concerning. About a year ago, a company called Nourish Food Club, in collaboration with Michigan State University, conducted a fatty acid analysis on various egg brands, including Vital Farms' organic pasture-raised eggs. Despite this study being done over a year ago, it's recently gone very viral, with many Instagram creators sharing the results. What was found in this study was striking. Vital Farms' eggs now contain about 26% linoleic acid. Now, for context, canola oil, one of the most common seed oils out there, contains around 19%.
Hey, that's why we tell you, do not ingest canola oil voluntarily, brothers. I know if you go to a restaurant, they cook all their bullshit in canola oil. But when you cooking at the house, avoid this oil like the plague, man. Do not cook in this oil. Do not cook in really any of these oils, man. They're high in omega 6. All right, you want to cook, the best oil you can cook in is grass-fed butter. Like I always say in all my videos, or if you have tallow, some people cook in coconut oil. Ghee is also good. Okay, because the animal fats, the Apostle Gabar, he went into it, man. That's where we got most of our fat in the ancient world. All these oils, you need factories to produce these oils. These oils are not natural. These are a man-made product by Esau. And why did Esau do that? Because there's an overabundance of these plants. And basically, it's just all about money and hoarding wealth. So if he can put this shit in all the food, it's twofold. Number one, it's cheaper than cooking with these fats. And number two, it's going to make you sick. And who controls the pill pushing industry? We already went into that in another video. You could look up a man named David Rockefeller. I believe was it David Rockefeller or John Rockefeller? Salakia, let's look it up real quick. I think it's John Rockefeller. Let's look it up. That old looking demon. Yeah, this demon right here. This man is the man responsible for the pill pushing industry being a for-profit instead of a for-health industry. So when you go to the hospital, right? I'm just going to say that word right there. You go to the hospital, you try to get some type of a fix for some problem you got. They just give you a temporary Band-Aid solution. This demon right here is responsible for that. This demon. And this demon is going to be reincarnated into hardcore slavery very soon. Very soon when Yahushua returns. All right? Because this man is responsible for millions and billions of deaths worldwide. Okay? This damn devil. And Salaki, if I'm a little overexcited today, Akim, it's just, I woke up and this was the first thing I saw and it just pissed me off, And I honestly, I went out shopping yesterday and I bought these same eggs. And I looked at the brand, and before I bought it, I thought, I was thinking in my spirit, these probably aren't the best eggs. I wonder, but my question in my mind was always, is it the same as the bullshit eggs that cost $2? And of course it's not, because chickens that get sunlight is going to be far healthier. But at the same time, Esau's scamming you because he's charging you 3 times the price for something that might be like 20, 25, 50% healthier. You see, so everything's a racket for this devil. All right, but we're going to continue the video here.
Common seed oils out there contains around 19% linoleic acid. So 2 Vital Farms eggs contain roughly the same amount of this omega-6 fatty acid as a tablespoon of canola oil. Now you might be wondering, why does this even matter? Well, linoleic acid is a polyunsaturated fatty acid, and whilst your body does need some of it, modern diets already contain far too much. Excessive omega-6 intake, especially from sources like seed oils, is highly associated with increased inflammation. And inflammation, as many of you all know, is the root cause of every health issue.
Hey, so right there, real quick, I want to stop the video. So where he's talking about the omega-3 and omega-6, every meat, every animal product, for lack of a better word, any meat or animal product you consume, it has a balanced ratio of omega-3 and omega-6. And so your body needs, I believe it's roughly a 50-50 ratio. So you need just as much omega-6 as you do omega-3s. But the problem is that Esau, with his factory farming, and he feeds animals foods that they're not supposed to eat. Why? Because it's cheap. And so what happens? The animal's body produces more omega-6, which is inflammatory, versus omega-3s. This is why you have a lot of people and a lot of science over the years that has said that seafood is healthier than regular meats. Okay, and it's true, but it's only really true because Esau fucked up meat on land. But if you get fish from the ocean, Esau can't touch that. For the most part, he can't really touch that. It's a wild fish. Okay, but we don't eat wild cows. We don't eat wild chickens. We don't eat wild eggs. All the eggs, chicken, beef that we eat, lamb, it's all from Esau's factory farms. That's why it's all fucked up. That's why you got to eat fish to balance everything out. But we wouldn't have to eat as much fish if Esau just raised these animals the right fucking way. They would have the balanced ratio of omega-3 to omega-6. And I spent years studying that, and that was right before I came into the truth. I believe that's the Lord had me studying that for a particular reason, to really see what this devil was about, man. Because it doesn't make sense when you think about it. This devil has all this science. He knows that that's what he's doing. So why would he fuck up the whole population like this? It's all by design, man. Like we say in all our videos, man, this man is literally the devil on earth. Okay? He doesn't have to do things this way, but he chooses to do things this way. All right? When the Lord sets up the kingdom, all of our animals are going to be pasture raised, grass fed. All right? You're not going to have to do a sardine diet cleanse, or all these different cleanses with these, lemons and, it's great, but you don't have to cleanse in the kingdom, man, because we're already going to be clean. The human body, is supposed to clean itself if you put the right foods into it. It's a constantly cleaning system. It constantly maintains itself. But with this damn devil in rulership, you got to constantly go above and beyond just to get the normal shit, man. If you want omega-6, you got to either eat fish in half your diet, or you got to get these, fish oil supplements and all that. And you got to be careful with them because they fill them up with rice bran and all type of fillers. Why? For profit. So now you got to read the ingredients. Now you got to go do this and go do that. And look, brothers, again, like I say in all the health, videos that I bring out about health, I'm not trying to discourage you from eating healthy. I'm trying to show you how wicked this man is and how deep the rabbit hole goes, man. How much things we don't know. The EP Stein files, right? The JE files just came out. I'm gonna say it like that. And everybody's learning that shit that we knew forever. We knew that shit forever. We were telling you this shit forever. The food, the water, the air, everything, your whole reality is fucked up and upside down because of this man. So we tell you this man's the devil, and we tell you we hate this man, and we tell you that the Lord hates this man. As it is written, let's get that. Romans. Let's get that. Romans 9:13. As it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. The Lord, Yahweh Bahashem Yahushua, hates Esau. And we hate Esau, man. You know, let's get the one where King David says, do not I hate those? Let's get this. Psalms 139 and 21. Do not I hate them, O Yahweh, that hate thee? Right? Esau hates the Lord. And am not I grieved with those that rise up against thee? They rise up against the Lord because they try to cast the law, statutes, commandments of Yahweh Shemel Shai away. They want to get rid of these laws in their society to keep Israel in a perpetual stupefied state of not knowing who the hell they are, constantly sinning. Why? Psalms 83 goes into that, man, where they're the enemies of the Lord and our enemies. Psalms 83 and 1, keep not thou silence, O power, hold not thy peace, and be not still, O power, for lo, thy enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. Let's scroll down. Verse 6, the tabernacles of Edom. That's the first one on the list of the Lord's enemies and those that have lifted up the head against Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. You see, Edom. Now let's go up in verse 4 and see what they say. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. Right? So they want to get rid of the remembrance of the true Israelites, which are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians. We're the true Israelites of the Bible, and the Lord has raised up his elect men to expose this devil in the last days, man. And he's being exposed. All right? We expose him in all our videos. Okay? That man of wickedness. Let's see if I can find it. Be revealed. That's in the New Testament. I believe it's, is it Thessalonians? 2 Thessalonians 2 and 8. And we're going to go ahead and see. Yeah, 2 and 8. It says, and then shall that wicked be revealed. That's Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth. Who's the mouth of the Lord? The prophets, right? What's the mouth of the Lord? I believe it's Hebrews. Is it 1 and 1? Yeah. Hebrews 1 and 1. The Most High, who at sundry times and in diverse manners spake in time past unto the fathers by the prophets. So the Lord speaks through his prophets. That's the mouthpiece of the Lord. Right? So back in 2 Thessalonians 2 and 8. And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, which is the prophets, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. Right? So the Lord is revealing Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, through the mouth of his prophets, which are the elect, or the hopeful elect of the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians. Right? Us who we are prophets here on YouTube, here on different platforms, and also in the highways and byways. We're showing you what this man is doing in the world and how he has hidden the truth of who we are. Okay, and it all ties together, man. It all comes together. You know, like everybody's saying about the JE files, that's the tip of the iceberg, man. Well, this thing about these devils fucking up different meats that we eat and different foods, that's the tip of the iceberg also, man. It goes far deeper than any of this stuff we're bringing out. You know, that's why we got to bring out videos constantly. It's too much stuff. We can't even cover it all, man. We can't even cover it all. All right, it says, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. The Lord is going to destroy these devils with the brightness of his coming. Okay, let's keep it playing.
It's now so high in linoleic acid. Well, it comes down to one thing. What the chickens are being fed. Vital Farms openly admits on their website, and has done so for some time, that their hens are fed a supplemental feed consisting primarily of corn and soybean meal. This is very important to understand.
Boom, that's all you need to know, man. They're not eating their natural diet. They're eating fake shit. And the rest of this video is good to go into too. But another thing he said that, you know, I didn't play it right now just for time's sake, is they put paprika in the food too. And they do that just so that the yolk will come out yellow. So it's a trick to make you feel like, oh, so if it's more yellow, that means there's more nutrition. Which that's the way it's supposed to be naturally. Yeah, it should be more yellow. But they're doing it in an artificial way. You see, just to sell and make money. These fucking demons, man. To hell with you, Edomites. You're all going into slavery. Every last fucking one of you, man. This is Psalms 10 and we'll start verse 3. For the wicked boasteth of his heart's desire and blesseth the covetous whom Yahweh abhorreth. Right, they have all these hopes and dreams, and then they bless those greedy bastards who are in power, right? All your CEOs, they're all what? Greedy as hell. They do things backwards, like we just saw in this video. It's all about profit and not about health, not about doing things the right way, the ways that Yahweh B'Shem Al Shai would want them to be done, right? And if you do things the right way, guess what? You got to pay more in taxes. You're not going to make as much money. You know, you'll probably end up getting sued easier. Esau send his agents after you, you know, because he wouldn't want you'll start taking all the business, man. If you start selling real eggs at a decent price and you try to go big and scale that up, dude, these devils would fuck your whole business up, man. All right, that's how they fucked up raw milk. Look up raw milk. There's a whole conspiracy on that. People used to sell milk straight from the cow to the refrigerator to your table. But because Esau wanted to make milk into a much more of a money-making system, he had to push propaganda that raw milk is unhealthy. So you have to pasteurize it. You have to pasteurize it and, whatever. And so these raw milk farmers, they were pushed out of business because they passed a law that made raw milk illegal. You see? But what it really was because if raw milk was allowed to continue to be sold, everybody would buy that milk because it's more real. You could already tell just by drinking it, oh wow, I feel so much better. I don't get stomach pain. I don't have the same problems as with regular milk, lactose intolerance. That comes from all this fake shit Esau's putting in the food. And then the cows, the raw milk, even the milk they have, the cows aren't even eating grass. They're supposed to eat grass, but what do they have them eating? Grain, soy, all type of bullshit. So now the cows get sick. Now they have to pasteurize the milk. You see? So that's who gets blessed in this society. The people that are the most greedy and the most corrupt. That's why it says, and blesseth the covetous, whom the Lord abhorreth. The Lord hates you people that are so fucking greedy, man. Verse 4, the wicked through the pride of his countenance will not seek after the Most High. The Most High is not in all his thoughts. That's right. Verse 5, his ways are always grievous. Yes, grievous, man. We can't even have real food. We can't have real eggs. We got to go above and beyond. Salakia, we got to go above and beyond, buying overpriced eggs just to get a fraction of the nutrition that you would get from regular eggs, real eggs. Thy judgments are far above out of his sight. As for all his enemies, he puffeth at them. Right? This man is proud. He doesn't follow the ways of the Most High. He doesn't even think or consider that the Most High, the Most High or his ways. Okay? Let's go ahead to Ecclesiastes 14:7. And if he doeth good, right, he's trying to do good, or so-called, by making these pasture-raised eggs and putting them on the shelf. These Vital Farms, and I'm sure all these other brands are doing the same bullshit. All these other so-called organic brands. Which is why I say, it's not truly organic. It is a little bit better, and if you can put some money aside, you will get a better product. But at the same time, it's like, if you're hurting financially, don't even worry about it, man, because it's not really and of course, do it with balance, man. Just try it out. If you buy these eggs and they make you feel better and it's worth the price to you, then keep doing it, man. I've been buying them and I'll continue to buy them, but I'm going to keep throwing up curses to Esau because he's a fucking devil. It's like, dude, how hard is it just to make real eggs? Why does everything have to be so fake? It's sick, man. Look, it says, and if he doeth good, he doeth it unwillingly. Right? He doesn't want to even do this. He's doing it because the people are demanding it. But he's doing it in a sneaky, sly way, because he really, really doesn't want to do this. He really, really doesn't want to do this, man. He wants you people to get more fucked up. He's like, fuck, well, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it in the shittiest way possible and then extort money from you. So you get eggs that are semi-healthy, and then you also got to pay $12 for them. It's fucking devil, man. And at the last, he will declare his wickedness. That's right. It's declared right here, man, by an Edomite who is exposing this devil, man. Where is he? Right here. Esau exposing Esau, man. You know, his own tongue. Let's get it. His tongue. Fucking devils, man. Psalm 64:8. So shall they make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. Right? People are so tired of this shit, man. People are fleeing away, but there's nowhere to flee. You can't find real eggs at the store. Now you gotta go what? You gotta go to a farmer, knocking on farmers' doors and be like, hey, do you have real pasture raised chickens, and what do you feed them? You gotta question them, and then you gotta build a whole relationship with some farmer you don't even know and hope to God he's telling you the truth and then buy his eggs. You gotta go above and beyond, man. These devils, these Edomites, are exposing their own selves, because this is what your leaders are doing, man. This is the spirit you people come in. To the point where they will oppress their own people. Their own people are crying out. That's how wicked this man is. Proverbs 28:16, the prince that wanteth understanding, right? That means he lacks understanding, is also a great oppressor. But he that hateth covetousness, right? That insatiable fucking greed, shall prolong his days. And we know that Esau Edom's days will not be prolonged, man. Once America falls, they will go into 1,000 years of slavery, the Edomites, and then they will be done away with. Yahweh Bashim Yahushai will have us round them up and light them on fire, and that's going to be the end of Esau. Because there's not going to be a need. In a world of perfect righteousness, there's not going to be a need for these people. All right? Habakkuk 2:5, yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, right? He's very proud, neither keepeth at home, all the military bases all over the world, who enlargeth his desire as hell. Just like the grave is never satisfied. You could put infinite corpses into the grave. Okay, it's the same thing with Esau. He is never satisfied. He is never satisfied. Just like these modern females. All right, these wicked hoes out here talking about, oh, they want this, they want that. Don't take me to the Cheesecake Factory. Our women have adopted the mindset of Esau Edom. So you see, this man corrupts everything. Our women, the food we eat, the air we breathe. It says, and is as death and cannot be satisfied. There we go, man. Okay? And then the next part says, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. Right? He will not be satisfied until everybody is in hardcore digital slavery. And what's that going to be manifested in? That's going to be the MOTB, the mark of the beast. Okay, we're going to go ahead and read Revelation 13:15. It says, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Right? So this whole society, with all its wickedness and the way it's set up, if you come against it, you're going to be killed, because they're going to have these social credit score systems tied to the what? To the mark of the beast, which is the RFID chip for buying and selling, and Neuralink for buying and selling. Revelation 13:16, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, right? That's the RFID chip and the brain-computer interface. Revelation 13:17, and then no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. So in the near future, very soon, if you don't have this technology, you won't be able to be a part of society. All right, and you Akim listening and learning out there, you know clearly we are to say no to this mark and to avoid it, even if it means death. Okay, and you new people watching, you new Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians, or speckled birds, right? People who may look like of the other nations, but your seed does go back to an Israelite on your father's side by blood. Hey, don't take this mark, or you will be destroyed. Okay, because see, the Lord is running one last final test, and that's the MOTB. All right, if you pass the test, you'll receive salvation. If you don't pass, you're gonna be destroyed with Esau here in America, as he rightly deserves to be destroyed, man. Because he's made a mockery of the Lord's creation, of the Lord's people, and all he does is destroy, steal, kill, and destroy. That's all he knows how to do, so he needs to be taken out. All right? So with that, I want to finish by giving all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Chakorash, double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone and taught us his truth. A sincere shalom to the hopeful like this out there, listening, learning, and or teaching in truth and sincerity. Shalom.